What's up, guys? I've got a very exciting video for you today. We're featuring the very recent Community Day Pokemon, and I want to put out a quick disclaimer before we get into things. This is not a spice channel. I'm not picking up Serperior just because it's the new Pokemon. I actually truly believe this Pokemon is going to be, or could be, a game changer in Great League, Remix Cup, whatever. It's just so tanky. It's the amount of damage deals is incredible. But yeah, I'll talk more about Serperior as we get into the games. First off, a huge shout out to my Patreon supporters. As always, could not be doing this without you guys. So let's get right into the gameplay video here. We have Serperior. It's new Pokemon, right? I'm sorry that this is a bit of an an exclusive team, right? We have the Tropius, this is also my first time using Tropius. Regirock, very hard to get on the 1500 level. But it is what it is. I really wanted to try Serperior out. So Serperior, very similar to Meganium in terms of bulk. It's a little bit bulkier than Meganium. Has a much higher defense, a little bit lower health. So that means it's going to be hitting a lot of those breakpoints that Meganium just can't. So one of the most important ones, in my opinion, for example, is against Charm Ninetales. So against Charm Alolan Ninetales, Serperior can actually win the 2-shield against the most common Charmer in the game. So that's pretty incredible to be winning the 2-shield in a neutral matchup against a Charmer. That's something the Meganium struggles to do. So this is, sorry, I should say high IV Serperior, not a high defense one like PvPoke on PvPoke's infographic, but just a high bulk one in general should be enough to beat that Alolan Ninetales in the 2-shield, and hopefully we have some videos of that happening. But yeah, this team was fantastic. I think I gained over 200 points in just 4 sets with this team. The goal with it, it's a classic ABB team. Let's take a look at how that works. We have Serperior. I'm currently running Aerial Ace on it for some coverage against grass types mainly, and flying types. And it's that kind of same flying coverage that Tropius has. So the goal here is that you can switch Serperior on fighting types, have them switch out, and Tropius can handle them in the back later. And by fighting types, I mainly mean Medicham. Yeah, so the other thing, Remix Cup is basically Medicham and Bastiodon Cup. So Serperior beats both of those in the 2-shield as well. So if you switch Serperior in, and it also beats Sableye, so with the one Vine Whip advantage. So if you switch Serperior in, and their team is Medicham, Bastiodon, Sableye, you're going to win switch. And then probably the game at that point, because you have your Regirock against a Bastiodon, and then you have your Tropius against either Sableye or Medicham. And both of those are fine matchups. And remember that Regirock won't be taking too much damage from that Bastiodon there. But yeah, so let's take a look at some gameplay. So bad lead, we have Diggersby, and in comes Pelipper. Well, guess what, Pelipper? I don't think Serperior cares too much for this. Look how much damage that Frenzy Plant does. This Pelipper builds up to a Hurricane, so we gotta respect it. We'll shield once. And then after that, you don't have to shield this Weather Ball. So switch advantage, 1 back. Yet again, I can't even count how many times this happens. And look how much energy there is as well. So we have this Wigglytuff. That's absolutely not going to like the fact that Serperior has 2 full Frenzy Plants. So not only did we take switch advantage, we're also taking shield advantage with Serperior. Look, they're down to 0 shields already. And that's pretty dangerous for Diggersby, right? Because Diggersby will not appreciate a Focus Blast from Regirock. Yeah, I'm going to shield here just to guarantee you take down this Wigglytuff, and they switch into Diggersby. I'm just gonna throw this Focus Blast. Probably the safer play, switching into Tropius and banking that move on Regirock, but it doesn't really matter too much. This game is essentially over. So while we look through this end game here, let's talk about Serperior's moveset a little bit. You can notice I'm using Aerial Ace. It did come in handy a couple of times, but it's really hard to tell if Leaf Tornado would have come in handy more. As a bait move, as a debuff, because even if Frenzy Plant is neutral and Aerial Ace is resisted, sorry, other way around, if Frenzy Plant is resisted and Aerial Ace is neutral, you still want to be throwing Frenzy Plant for the most part, just because it's that powerful of a move. Things have to be double resisted, or Aerial Ace has to be super effective and Frenzy Plant resisted, so like grass types, for example. So it's it really is kind of an awful move. So you can see in this case versus Sableye, I finish the Stone Edge Throat just to weaken it up a little bit, and we can switch into Serperior here so we don't have to spend any shields and can keep alignment. So I throw Frenzy Plan here. I learned from previous set, I think this is my second set ever with the team, that High IV Sableye can actually get to that next foul play too. But if it's a squishy Sableye, it won't. And in comes Shadow Hypno in an attempt to farm Serperior down. And yeah, I don't know. This Pokemon is so tanky. My opponent is counting moves. They know I'm going to get to that Frenzy Plant, so they throw the Fire Punch. And in comes the Goon. And we're going to have a very interesting two-shield matchup here. This Goon probably doesn't have Gunk Shot. Most Goons don't run it, but you have to respect it if they have it. So even though it's bad practice to be shielding the early Night Slashes, if you're wondering why I'm shielding the first one, it's because I'm scared of the Gunk Shot. Usually you'll see me no shield the first couple Night Slashes until you really need to, just because of that chance of the boost. Those subsequent Night Slashes will deal a lot more damage. Yeah, in this case, I know the jig is up. They're just trying to get that damage out. But we're going to go for the Leaf Blade here. They still have a shield. Not sure what they're saving it for. Saving it for their Goon, I guess. And as soon as Hypno comes back in, we're going to bring in Regirock. And this game is not over. Their switch is very smart because they want to be able to farm down my Regirock. And I throw early because I haven't been counting Hypno moves this game. But I do think that I can maybe make it to a Stone Edge beforehand. But the lock-ons actually will end up taking Obstagoon down. Yeah, so as far as replacements for Regirock goes, I know a lot of people are going to ask these questions, right? Regirock probably could be replaced by Melmetal, was my other main replacement, and Registeel, which I don't have. So classic Bastiodon Medicham team, if you actually count the amount of Bastiodons and Medichams, there's at least a Bastiodon or a Medicham. There's almost as many Bastiodons or Medichams as games played here. So Bastiodon or Medicham versus Tropius, it's kind of actually a tough matchup. It's much better with shields than not. You do win the one shield pretty comfortably, I think. But the problem is in the zero shield, Medicham does beat you. So seeing this Medicham early is fine. And you also win the 2-1, I guess. I think they're trying to farm up, or they did throw. I'm not sure what's happening, but they're just gonna GG out there. If they can't win switch back there, I think their game was over. Serperior didn't have to come into play. But yeah, honestly, all three Pokemon performed very nice. It's great that it really doesn't seem like you're carrying any Pokemon on this team. Okay, so Chestnut, that's an awful lead for Regirock. We're going to go right into Serperior, and here is the Wigglytuff. And I let a Charm through, so my timing is not good on this. Depending on IV, Serperior can actually beat Wigglytuff in the 2-shield as well. But they actually let the first move through. And I'm going to shield just to take shields down. Having a shield on my side and no shields on their side is a perfectly fine scenario. We're going to go with this Frenzy Plan again. Yeah, so Wigglytuff does beat Serperior in the 2-shield, although you get 2 shields to their 1. So is it really a win? I don't know. Anyways, double Charmer team. Yeah, these are out there. They're out there a lot because none of the Charmers were banned, and Medicham is extremely common. So it's very unsurprising that we're running into them a lot, but luckily I don't think I've lost to a double Charmer team. Most of the time Serperior can win back switch. It's just against Wigglytuff, and then even against Wigglytuff they have to expend 2 shields, and Tropius is not bad versus Charmers either, right? We just have a lot of bulk on the back line of this team. And here we watch an absolute massacre. Tropius versus Chestnut, that's not a good matchup at all. Yeah, so for second set with the team, first set with the team was a disaster. I just was not playing well. Second set with the team, we pick up a 4-0, start to get rolling a little bit, and we'll see how far this team can take us. Also, very happy this is my first like PvP shiny, so I was very excited to use it. Alolan Ninetales latest Powder Snow version, so we're not switching out. We're probably not switching out anyways, and they make a really good catch onto Deoxys here. Who even knows the counts for Regirock? But we're going to switch into Serperior. So Serperior, as opposed to Tropius, not weak to Rock Slide. resist Thunderbolt. So if they're running Thunderbolt, it's just straight up resist City, but unfortunately, this Deoxys is running Rock Slide. But either way, Serperior is just going to win this matchup anyways. Even without the Stone Edge, I think it beats Deoxys. It's just an incredible Pokemon. And I farmed up enough to throw yet another Frenzy Plant at this Alolan Ninetales. Look how much damage that does too. They're forced to throw energy. They can't just farm Serperior down. It's just, people just don't know how to deal with it right now. And the other thing is people are also, so the reason I kind of like it over Meganium, for example, because the stats are very similar. The bulk is very similar, and the moveset obviously is very similar. You just don't have the coverage in Earthquake. The main reason to run it is for the other people out there running Serperior who are running Leaf Tornado. So a lot of people are letting Frenzy Plants through, when in my opinion they really should not be letting those Frenzy Plants through, just because they're like, oh, are they baiting me? Am I going to get debuffed? It's the whole Octazooka scare from Ultra League, where people just hate shielding Kingdra. So it is that coin flip, and I personally might switch to running Leaf Tornado in the future as well, because I do think that Leaf Tornado, I don't know, Aerial Ace, like, if you'll notice, we still haven't seen me use it yet, right? There just hasn't been an Aerial Ace opportunity yet, and this has been over a set already, so the value that you actually get out of the second move isn't that much. Yeah, so they're gonna go in Diggersby. They have an Earthquake stored. Doesn't matter. This game is already over. And store an Earthquake and a Fire Punch. So there would have needed to be some sort of undercharge, perfect undercharge play there for me to lose that one. All right. Into the next game, we have Regirock versus Drifblim. Exactly where you want to see the Drifblim. I think a lot of people are just tired of Medicham, and that's why you see this Drifblim come out. I'm waiting for them to charge the Shadow Ball. I'm throwing the Stone Edge, and they shielded, which is probably a sign to me that they're probably going to bait here. But I'm not very smart, so I'm going to shield, and shielding the Icy Wind sucks. But it is what it is, and Regirock still wins this matchup pretty handily. And now this Drifblim is in a pretty good spot for my Serperior or Tropius to take out with just a couple of moves anyways. But we'll stay with Regirock. They actually go for the 2-shield, and I actually am forced to switch out here. So very well played by my opponent. I can't believe they actually know the Regirock matchup this well. But in comes Charm Ninetales, so shields are down. I wonder who's going to win this matchup. Is it going to be a Grass Snake or an Ice Fox? Yeah, Snake's OP. And that's debuffed too. These are debuffed Frenzy Plants. Imagine a non-debuffed Frenzy Plant. They can't take one in the one shield. In comes Scrafty, so good thing I was able to win switch advantage there. We've got Tropius into Scrafty, which is way better than Medicham into Scrafty, because you don't have to deal with Ice Punch. Tropius is pretty tanky. You just have to deal with neutral moves, and if you only have to deal with neutral moves with Tropius or Serperior, you're probably going to win. Their movesets are incredible. Frenzy Plant, incredible. Leaf Blade, incredible. Both moves are busted. So you're just going to win all these neutral matchups, and you're even going to win these resisted matchups sometimes. Yeah, throwing the Aerial Ace here, because I'm not sure how many moves I will get on the Tropius, and I think I can take them out. The safer play, obviously, would have been to switch, I think, to clear the debuff. But it's a bit risky, too, because they can farm down the Regirock, potentially. Next game, we have a Bastiodon lead, so this is exactly where we love to see it. Bastiodon lead is one of the main reasons I chose Regirock over Melmetal. Melmetal still beats Bastiodon, but Regirock does so without having to worry about debuffing itself. You just go straight Focus Blast. It's very stress-free. So we got a shield off the Sableye already. I'm okay to let a Foul Play go through. Look, it tickles. It tickles the snake. And this Frenzy Plant does a little bit more than tickle. So although I do have to shield here, we're in even shields, right? We're 1-1 because they shielded Stone Edge. And in comes Bastiodon. Pretty smart for them to come in on Bastiodon and farm all the way down. I probably should have taken a little bit more damage first, because the thing is, Regirock is going to essentially one-shot this Bastiodon. So there's no... This extra damage doesn't do anything. Right, this Bastiodon's in the red. What does that really do? Unless they switch out and Tropius is able to Leaf Blade it down later, it doesn't really do too much, because at that point I still think I have to go for the Focus Blast. And here we go, one shield Medicham versus Tropius. Medicham with the energy advantage. It is a little bit scary. I'm throwing proper move timing and odd numbers when you have a 3-turn move versus a 2-turn move. And I'm just hoping that I get to this second move and take out the Medicham. I'm going to go the Aerial Ace because I can only land one move. If you can only land one move, you might as well land the harder one, but I missed Bubbles. And on purpose to undercharge, and I want this Medicham actually to take out my Tropius. This is not lag. I fixed my lag in the last video, okay? We are setting up a farm for Regirock. That's lag, though. That, I didn't fix all my lag. But yeah, so interesting with the lag video. The lag started to come back. Not very much. Like, this is nothing compared to what it used to be, but it started coming back as the sets were on. So I wonder if I do have to refresh location or turn off location every once in a while and reload the game. But that's something I'll be testing in the future. Altaria lead. In comes Hypno. None of these Pokemon are good against Regirock. They just don't have a Regirock answer. But we're going to go into Serperior anyways after we chip them a little bit. Serperior is tanky enough that you don't mind catching moves on it. And they have to shield the plant. And I don't know what the heck they're charging up to, but normal Hypno generally doesn't run Fire Punch, so I was okay switching in. Oh yeah, they're running Fire Punch. So I will have to shield this one if I do want Switch, and I do. This is probably the most important game to get Switch in when we have that Altaria lead, just because we cannot possibly have that Altaria on our Tropius. And then this Altaria comes back in. I'll hit it with the Aerial Ace. This might actually make a difference, because I'm not sure Stone Edge 100% one-shots without chip damage. So, well, maybe Frenzy Plant's probably good enough too. I don't know if Aerial Ace was really necessary there, or if we could be running Leaf Tornado. I guess the problem with running Leaf Tornado is you kind of bait yourself into making bait plays instead of just going straight for the plant. And they're going to stay in with Altaria. So, honestly, a little bit scary. I might have made a little bit of a mistake here, right? Dragon Pulse deals quite a bit of damage. Most Altarias were running Gleam, I thought. So, but Regirock just tanky enough to get to that next Stone Edge and take out that Altaria. And in the back, we have a Politoed. Still kind of tough. If they have Blizzard, this is winnable for them. And actually, it comes down to a coin flip. If I guess correctly, I win. If I don't, I lose. But actually, it's a coin flip in the other direction because they have Earthquake, not Blizzard. Otherwise, they would have thrown it, I'm assuming, at that point. Yeah, I guess we can also take a look at PvP IVs here. Serperior's got good PvP IVs. Regirock and Tropius, they're kind of just very, very meh. But the team still works. So, Bastiodon lead. Would love to see it. I don't bait here just because I don't think you need to. And a lot of the times they don't shield anyways. So, Focus Blast doesn't want to hit KO. That's actually insane that Bastiodon, which is double weak to Focus Blast, one of the most powerful moves in the game, doesn't get one shot. But there it is. I know Medicham's coming in already, so I'm ready to switch, and out comes Tropius. And this is a bit tricky, actually. If I'd known the team comp going into my Tropius instead, would have probably been a better play. But here is where Aerial Ace is really paying off. If I don't have Aerial Ace, Tropius can just farm all the way down and have a bunch of Leaf Blades to throw at my Regirock. And I would just lose at that point, I think. But because I can throw these Aerial Aces, I actually don't even need my Regirock to take down this Tropius. But I might as well spend this energy, just because I know my Regirock is going to become a liability when this Medicham comes back out. So we're just going to let this Regirock go down. It took a shield. It did its job. It took a charge move. It did its job. And now we have 2 shields, and they have 1 on Medicham. I think you can guess who is going to win this particular matchup. And they have Psychic too. So as soon as Psychic was revealed, I know I don't have to shield the next move, because even the resultant Aerial Aces, Air Slashes from Tropius aren't going to take out my Tropius. That's what I was a bit scared of, was that if they Ice Punch and then farm a little bit, they were going to be able to farm me down. So I'm going to no-shield the Psychic here, just in case they do have an Aerial Ace or something. Although Psychic probably does more damage than Aerial Ace. But anyways, we flex on them a little bit, so everything is worth it. Yeah, this was a, that's 5 wins. That is a 5-0. So this is where you get the big gains on those 5-0s. We're up over 100 rating already, I think, in 2 sets. So this team was climbing like crazy. Shiny bonus really paying off. Actually, I should not say that in an educational video. Shiny Pokemon don't give bonus damage. People like to pretend they do. This is a pretty interesting scenario. Yeah, this is where the lag pops up again. But I think this is both of us just trying to throw our moves. Unfortunately, they do have Surf. Against Mew, I should have been switching right away. This is not something I thought of fast enough, but Serperior resists both of those moves. So why not switch it in faster? So next time I will. Next time I will, for sure. Against the Mew, but my Regirock has taken a ton of damage, and this does not bode well. So I can tank 1 Foul Play. And look at that. Serperior wins the 0 shield versus Sableye with an entire Frenzy Plant ready to go against whatever comes back in. So unfortunately, I didn't click my move here. And I'm going to lose CMP. But guess what? Serperior lives. That's actually crazy. That Surf did almost nothing. It pretty much tickled. And I'm going to switch out to save Serperior for later. Just because Mew would have been able to farm down. And unfortunately, they have Bastiodon on the back. Really the one Pokemon that that beats Tropius, but not Serperior. That we'll see. So maybe Registeel too. Actually, Serperior beats Registeel in the 2 shield with 1 Vine Whip advantage. That's pretty crazy. Last time, Grass type consistently beat Registeel in the 2 shield. It got Razor Leaf nerfed. So I don't know why there's no outrage about Serperior hitting, or Serperior or Meganium just going straight Frenzy Plant against Registeel and winning. And there's outrage against Victory Bell having to throw an Acid Spray, getting no shields, having to spend 2 shields, and then losing to Registeel. It just doesn't really make sense to me. Politoed lead, this is not great. So we're going to get right out. And look at this, Charm Ninetales. So Charm Ninetales is probably the most common Charmer in the league, or in the game. We're going to see how this matchup goes in the 2 shield. Charmers and 2 shields are pretty unbeatable in neutral matchups. So you wouldn't really expect Serperior to be able to put up a fight here, but Serperior is still looking extremely healthy as it grabs the 2nd shield. I have a little bit of energy as well, and make sure you're throwing at the proper timings. So look, I still have an entire Charm leeway. If they snuck an entire Charm through, I would still be fine. But I'm throwing with proper timing, so we're going to be able to win that matchup. Pelipper comes in. Pelipper versus Regirock. Well, Weather Ball hurts, but Stone Edge hurts a little bit more. And you charge to a Stone Edge just a little bit slower than they get to a Weather Ball. So it's a pretty good matchup. In general, the Politoed matchup not so good for Regirock, but it is much better for Tropius. And Shadow Politoed likely is running Earthquake, just because Shadow on Blizzard is generally a little bit of overkill. You're already one-shotting everything you need to one-shot with Blizzard, right? Like Tropius, one-shot any grass type. Actually, you might not one-shot Serperior. That's something that we would have to find out. All right, we have Hypno here. And we're going to go straight into Serperior. I'm starting to play it a little bit different, trying to preserve some HP on the Regirock. A shield, it's Thunder Punch, unfortunate. But they switch into Deoxys, which I don't think is a better matchup for them here. But I think what they were trying to do is really get some chip damage with Hypno, so Deoxys can try and win this matchup by spending shields. And they're charging up a lot, so I'm pretty sure they're just going for Psycho Boost at this point. But Serperior is able to grab both shields, and I decide, you know what? I don't even really need Switch. It's Hypno, right? It's Hypno Deoxys. These are very neutral matchups for my entire team. We're going to go in with Tropius, and we're going to get a nice little farm here. Unfortunately, it does have Rock Slide. Very unfortunate for Tropius. But Tropius is really tanky, so we're just going to keep tanking these Rock Slides and end up with a ton of energy. What comes in, it's Hypno. We're just going to try and Leaf Blade this thing out of existence. Actually, the fact that they came in with Hypno, I'm going to switch to Regirock right away because I think something's up. And it is a fighter in the back, but it's Scrafty, so I'll take this move. It's not going to KO, but this will. So it's really nice being able to watch Regirock completely destroy a fighter. Yeah, that's not a one-shot, but those lock-ons are even a little bit better, as it's going to be able to take out Hypno as well. So once you get shields down on this team, Regirock can go to town, Tropius can go to town, Serperior can go to town. You generally do want to play shields down just because your Pokemon are so tanky and their moves hit so hard. Serperior is great at getting shields down, or Pokemon down. People don't shield, they get taken out, but Frenzy Plant is something that charges pretty fast and honestly is almost a must shield. Same with Stone Edge. So it is pretty tough. We're going to go straight into Serperior here. And we're going to throw this Frenzy Plant. I don't want them to Psycho Boost and dip. I don't want them to be efficient with their energy without taking a ton back. So this Deoxys is now at half health. Take it. Serperior is now at 60% health. And in comes Bastiodon. So smart switch though, right? Because this was what I mentioned earlier. Regirock is going to one-shot this Bastiodon anyways, regardless of how many Frenzy Plants it's taken. Or it doesn't need any additional Frenzy Plant help. Yeah, one turn away from getting to that Frenzy Plant and forcing a shield or earning switch. And unfortunately for Regirock, Rock does not resist Rock. Actually, now that I think about this, I can probably throw Stone Edge at Bastiodon. I was thinking it was double resisted, but it's not. Deoxys comes back in, and we're going to come in with Tropius and try and farm down. We'll see if this Deoxys has Rock Slide. It does not. So this is a little bit better, but those Psycho Boosts really do add up, and I want to preserve some health on my Tropius, but it is starting to get to that point where it's a little bit too late. I still have 2 shields. They still have 2 shields. This is not the game plan for Regirock. And now Bastiodon is coming in with shields, so it's a bit of a tough situation. I do have to burn my shield now. I think burning a shield on a Bastiodon move is great because you can get out, and in comes Meganium. So I charge up a little bit over 100 by accident. Don't do that. You can't double up on Stone Edge. Instead, we're just going to take down this Meganium with 2 Stone Edges. Yeah, they don't shield. And now we're just going to go for the Stone Edge on Bastiodon. That's all you need. Yeah, they gave up there. I think I would have been able to lock on them down before they got to... were able to smack down everything down. So another easy win. No, I'm just kidding. None of these wins are easy. A lot of, like, everyone's so much better this season than in previous seasons. People are just better at the game, and it's great to see. So, okay. Registeel. This is the matchup that got Victory Bell complained about so much. Being able to beat a Steel type. Steel resist grass. How can you possibly beat a Steel type in the 2 shields? With resisted moves only. That's overpowered. Now guess what? Serperior can do the same thing without Razor Leaf. So we can pretend we're skilled as well. And using charge moves. But yeah, so the way this matchup goes is if they have a Registeel in there already and you switch in, you're not going to be able to win in the 2 shield. Okay, we're not even going to see it this time because they're not shielding. I don't know if the game I played where the Registeel did go to 2 shields is in there, but you do win the 2 shield. You're just gonna have to take my word, or you can sim it on PV Pokey. Pretty accurate there as well. So this is a pretty interesting matchup too. Both Pokemon remaining are Pokemon that Tropius wants to deal with, but we're gonna swap Regirock and Jellicent. This matchup is not too bad. If the Jellicent has Bubble, you're gonna lose. You can't take a move. But if the Jellicent doesn't have Bubble, you can tank a Shadow Ball pretty comfortably. So we're not going to shield the first one just in case of Bubble Beam. Yeah, if it has Bubble, you have Bubble down here though. So be careful about no shielding a Jellicent depending on their fast move here. But yeah, these Stone Edges deal a ton of damage. So this is the thing where Jellicent is almost more of a Ghost type than a Water type. Yeah, that's really satisfying to see too. And yeah, it's a Bubble Beam. Yeah, because it just does a lot of Ghost damage and not Water damage. So it loses matchups to stuff like Bastiodon if it's running Hex, to Regirock if it's running Hex, to Galarian Stunfisk even. So these types that are weak against Rock, it can lose to them. So people think of it as a Water type, but it's really only a Water type defensively. So that's really great for my team. 2 Pokemon hit it super effectively. Regirock doesn't have to worry about it because it's more of a ghost attacker. So Jellicent also handled by this team as well. Another 4 wins to move us to 28, 27. It's quite big climbs. I think at some point it was 2670 or something like that at the beginning of these sets. Ash Monies. Shout out to Cabo Rocks. Already knows you. And we have a Registeel lead. Ooh, do I play this one well? I don't know if I do. So they throw before Focus Blast. If they throw Flash Cannon, you can take one. I've been changing up the way I play these Registeel. Yeah, this wasn't even a catch. I'm so slow. Reactions. Like they swapped at the right time to make the Focus Blast, but I overcharged and then I still threw. I don't know what I was doing there, but we'll see if even Focus Blasting a Sableye, is it clever BM because I know I have the game in the bag, or is it a pretty dumb idea? Place your predictions now. But yeah, I played this one on stream. A lot of my chat was telling me I needed to switch Serperior out because I didn't have a good Steel answer. I should use Meganium instead. So I think this fired up Serperior a little bit. But yeah, I'll take that Flash Cannon, and in comes Serperior. So Serperior, the lonely snake, the last snake remaining. Chat's telling him he can't deal with Steel types, so we'll see how this game goes. You can definitely tank a Flash Cannon. We've seen this before, but obviously I don't know what's in the back. Okay, sorry. I was counting moves in my head like I was playing for a second. But yeah, we're just going to throw with good move time against this Jellicent. And unfortunately, they do get to a move. So I do have to worry about that Ice Beam. And it is an Ice Beam too. So that's the worst case scenario there. I had to really hope that they didn't have Ice Beam and it was just Shadow Ball. But Ice Beam and Flash Cannon do about the same amount of damage. And Serperior is going to be able to Vine Whip this Registeel all the way down. And if not, I think I would have won the race to 2 Frenzy Plants anyways. So yeah, even though we won, or I won, don't do what I did. Don't be Focus Blasting Ghost types, even though they're Dark types, you know. That's just not a good play. Wasted a lot of energy there. All right, Alolan Ninetales. We have a Registeel incoming. So we'll see how I play this one. I'm going to go straight Focus Blast this time. The problem is Registeel is pretty tanky. This doesn't even get close to KOing. So you have to take this to the 2 shield to win it. So I'm going to shield here. This is how, I think this game is how I started playing the Registeel lead matchups. Or if they switch in Registeel. So this is essentially a Registeel lead game at this point. So I bait the second one once they realize I have Focus Blast. And guess who's going to win the race to the next Focus Blast, right? Stone is way cheaper than Flash Cannon. So as a bait move, it's way better. I'm going to get to that Focus Blast. So you don't win the one shield though, because the lock-ons don't do enough damage. Look, I have to, he's still alive. He still has a little bit. So I have to switch into that Serperior. And guess what? This is a Charm Ninetales. This isn't the scary Ice Ninetales here. They switched right away. I was really hoping it was Charm and not Powder Snow. They did a good job not revealing their move. Unfortunately, this Weather Ball Ice is going to take Serperior out. Just kidding, it doesn't even do that. But I won't be able to do anything about the resultant charms, and this is just a good opportunity for Tropius to come in and farm down. Unfortunately, I neglected to think about the desync switch timer, so this is a big mistake on my part, right? And this makes the game extremely close, way closer than it should have been. I'm actually charging up, and I'm waiting for that Bastiodon Smackdown to come through so I don't get farmed down by the Charmtails. And we're gonna come in with the Leaf Blade there and take it out. Yeah, so I should have waited my switch timer. If I did, this game would have been very easy. If not, well, you saw what happened. I almost threw it. But I'm glad I didn't. Yeah, because each game you throw that you probably should have won is like a 30-point swing. It's pretty terrifying to think about. Excadrill, this is extremely spicy. We're going to get right into that Serperior, and once again, Charmtails as the switch. 1, 2, sorry, counting again. You just have to shield the weather balls, but we throw 1, 2, 3, 4, throw Frenzy Plant. So you want to be throwing 1, 4, 7 Vine Whips. And they're just going to let that one through. And we're going to take it out. So switch advantage 1, which is really big. And the fact that they're actually coming in with Excadrill is slightly terrifying. I shield here. I'm pretty dumb for not throwing my move already, but I get CMP'd into it. I guess I forgot that I would lose CMP, but this one's a pretty obvious CMP. But because I charged up more already, I'm going to get there before they are. They're one mud shot away from their move. And in comes Politoed, so you love to see it. This game is still losable. So I try to catch a Weather Ball on Tropius so that I can get to that Frenzy Plant later on Serperior, but they don't throw. I think they're actually trying to lose at that point. They didn't think they could win the game at all. Next game, yeah, Legend poses on everyone, it seems. Got an Escavalier. This is really tough. This is really tough. I did not think about Escav at all. To be honest, when building this team, it just wasn't on my radar. Honestly, it's super... I know I just put out a video on it too, with Hafuduct, but it's a super anti-meta Pokemon. Beating Bastiodon, a bunch of other things. So Medicham comes in to Serperior. I'm going to no-shield the first one, as usual. It's Power Up Punch, so this is really good. Means I'm going to be able to get away with some shields here. Yeah, so even though this happens, their Escav is so good against the team that I don't know what to do. I don't know the matchups for it very well. Luckily, I get to this all-important Aerial Ace. Look how much damage that Drill Run did. It's almost nothing. But we do have a better matchup in Tropius against Escav. I really shielded this. Why am I... They would not bait Drill Run, right? But Sableye comes in, and at this point, gonna have to throw... We're gonna have to start spending shields somewhere. And the Sableye's a little bit too far ahead in energy for Regirock to catch up. Regirock charges a little bit faster, but it's I think it's just one turn. So eventually, gonna get taken down here. Really tough. I probably should have actually spent my shield there and taken out the Sableye, the Stone Edge. But then there's that chance that I get farmed down, and that Escav can just throw another Mega Horn into my Tropius. So it was just a tough situation, all in all. This was not a win play. I should have tried to farm all the way down. I think that's my only win condition. Or was my only win condition. Instead, I went for like the half win condition. I'm going to lose by one turn there. So, unfortunate loss. Just one turn, though. It is what it is. This next game, we have Medicham lead. Obviously not great, but we're going to go right into Serperior and Registeel. Is this the game I was talking about all along? Is this the game where we finally get a grass type, throwing only grass type moves to beat a pure steel type in the 2 shield? No way. That can't possibly happen. That would be overpowered. But yeah, here we go. You don't have to worry about move timing because they have a 1-turn move. So just throw Frenzy Plants whenever. You can maybe charge up a little bit more if you want to get cute, but I don't really care too much for that. If you're trying to trick your opponent into thinking like how many Vine Whips you have, how much energy you have stored, I'm just trying to fast move deny and get my moves off. Yeah, so I'm gonna get to this next Frenzy Plant first. That's what I think they're doing. I think they're charging up a little bit more to confuse me. It's okay, we're gonna get to that Frenzy Plant first, CMP tie, and I actually thought about shielding this because I didn't know I won the 2 shield until this moment. Yep, gonna get that Frenzy Plant off and switch advantage 1. Switch advantage is 1. This is the reversed paved paradise, put up a parking lot song. We paved the parking lot, put up a paradise. Wait, we unpaved the parking lot. But unfortunately, Medicham does win the 0 shield, like I mentioned earlier, against Tropius. So this game still isn't over. I can only throw 1 move, so I'm going to throw the Aerial Ace. And this extra damage does not actually come in handy. But because they have to throw right away, Regirock can get to this Stone Edge before Medicham gets to a move, and then Regirock... Oh, it's still going to be close, but Regirock is gonna have to take out this this Bastiodon. Focus Blast doesn't do it. Remember, this isn't a one shot. So this is gonna come down to lock-ons and smackdowns. No, it's gonna come down to Stone Edge, isn't it? It's gonna be close. But who's Stone Edge? Yeah, so 1 HP remaining. Regirock can still do it. Not as hard of a counter to Bastiodon as I would like, but it's one of the only ones that can really deal with Registeel as well. And Melmetal if you see it, which haven't really seen it too much. Yeah, another 4 wins. That's going to take us to 2871. I don't even know how many wins that was. Was that 17? That's 17 out of 20 wins. So, very solid team. Had a lot of fun playing Serperior. I think a lot of people don't really know what it does right now, so you have that advantage. But yeah, this is a ton of fun. Finally glad to be able to use Atropius. Shout out to Spudux, local, who managed to trade me a Atropius. It was awesome of him. And yeah, if you guys have any questions about the team, obviously put them in the comments, and I'll put my socials in the description. And as always, guys, thanks for watching.